And we are back in score correction. I said 31-37 at the half. It was actually 31-17. The Mustangs were up, and now it is now 31-20. We are in the second half of this game. Presented by Rare Jam Productions and the End Zone Network. I am Palmer Alexander III, and joining me is Ashley Wright from Sports with Ashley. We're in the second half of this matchup, and already we're seeing some of the signs that we saw in the first half.
Absolutely. Marquette is just off to playing some amazing defense, and it's translating to their offense right now. They're playing some very confident basketball, and that goes a long way when you're in 8th grade, starting your very hopefully long career playing basketball.
Oh, look at the explosion to the basket and the great shot by Jack Auburn. I mean, just exploded to the basket, and a great job getting to the rim. I mean, that was a great basketball play, and now we're watching the Mustangs trap on the baseline.
Absolutely, and these kids, their respective high schools should be excited for what they're about to get, especially whatever high school Jack Halabowski is going to go to. They're going to get a physical, dominant player. He's taken over the game, honestly, for the Mustangs. He's making physical moves. He plays amazing defense. He's a smart basketball player, and he's so young.
A long three made by Jackson Freeman, but, oh, yeah, I echo those same sentiments on Jack Halabowski. I mean, he is a stud. And anybody out there that are listening, you better be having your eyes on him. He's strong. He can finish up. He can finish against the basket. And by the way, shout out to all of the parents and volunteers that are currently tuning in right now and checking us out. This is a great event. And as I say that, a layup is made by Ryan Hardwick.
And he made an amazing move, too. Honestly, if you didn't tell me that these kids were in 8th grade, I wouldn't believe you.
Oh, yeah. I mean, especially you've seen how some of these guys have been exploding to the basket. Anthony Ronaldo, again, exploded towards the basket. Hulabowski finishing strong against taller players. A long three, and it is off the back of the basket by Will Chapman, who hasn't made a shot yet in the second half, but it's only a moment of time.
Will Chapman is a small guy, but he is feisty, as he just drew the charge through from the Mustangs, and now it's a turnover. He's taken he's a feisty guy. He's a really feisty guy. He's small, but he's everywhere.
And I know I'm showing my age, but that's how Scotty Brooks used to play when he was in the NBA. That tough like that.
It's hard over height, right?
Yes, absolutely. But, also, too, with the Mustangs, and they're up currently by 10, but you notice when they're scoring, they turn up their intensity on defense. You notice how they're trapping a long three by Hulabowski, and it goes off the back of the rim, rebound by Ryan Hardwick. And now William Chapman brings it up. But when they're scoring, they're extending that defense out there, and they're trapping really hard.
Gavin Marsh of the Marquette Mustangs brings the ball up. He's making a strong move to the hoop and is called for the charge.
Okay, I mean, that was an interesting call. But we did compliment the referee, so.
Absolutely.
They do a good job. But I just don't see where that foul was warranted. There wasn't really any contact. He was making a basketball move. So, it wasn't as if he was out of control. Mm-hmm. He was in control, so that was a basketball move. Yes. It looks like Gavin Lang goes coast to coast and lays it in.
Wow. Beautiful move by Gavin Lang. I think he surprised himself as he high-fives his teammates.
Well, the defense was kind of just sitting back on his heels, and as a basketball player too, you got to be able to spot the openings. As you could tell, the Mustangs are sniffing. They're sniffing something, and they're cranking up the intensity on defense.
And to Gavin Lang's credit, you're taught to push the ball until someone stops you. If the defense isn't stopping the ball, keep going.
Yeah.
And Lang, again, he's feeling the hot hand as he just drained a three.
And the River Dogs, they look tired. They have a shorter bench, and if your bench is shorter, you're going to get tired faster. And long three by Chapman, he makes a three, and hopefully it stops a little bit of the hurting right now as they're trailing by 12 points. But they can't trade baskets anymore. They got to be able to get some stops and make some shots on the other end. That last shot by Gavin Lane went long, and the other way, here comes the River Dogs. Long three, off the rim. Back come the Mustangs. Gavin Lane with the ball.
And this has a lot to do with age. Right now, I would like to see the River Dogs get into their offensive sets. Right now, they're taking a lot of shots early in the clock. Although the time is on their side right now, I think that might come back to haunt them later in the game. But that comes with age. That comes with experience. And right now, as we've mentioned before, these are 8th grade guys.
Yeah.
So they're not going to know, maybe I should pull back and we should set up our offense.
And, and you know something else? They look a little tired. You know, it was only one guy playing defense, and everybody was standing around like, okay.
Yeah.
You get them this time. I mean, but you know what? They're still growing. And
Absolutely.
Those are those things that, once they mature, everybody's going to be communicating, talking.
Mm-hmm. And just watching the Mustangs play defense right now, it's just beautiful rotation. They're all in their defensive stance. They have their hands out. They're stopping the drive. The lane is very much so protected. The lane well, I say that as the River Dogs score a runner, but that was great defense by the Mustangs.
But the Mustangs made them earn it. They made them pass it 3, 4, 5 times. They packed the defense tight into the paint, refused to let a white shirt go inside of there. So I wouldn't feel so bad if I was the Mustangs because I made them earn that shot.
Absolutely.
Right now the Mustangs are up by 10. Shot up and fouled. Drew Ellis went up for a shot, and he was fouled, and he'll be going to the line.
And I commend the River Dogs for keeping their heads up. There was a point in time where they were down 17-31, and now they're only down by 10 while the Mustangs are leading 40-30. The River Dogs have been down, but they're definitely not out.
And then, the Marquette coach, giving Will Chapman a breather right now, and believe it, once he come back in, you better believe he's not coming back out. So he's probably giving him his last breather.
Absolutely.
Of this half, and then he's going to turn him loose for the rest of the game.
Looks like Jack Steinbach of the River Dogs was tripped up.
And I like Jack. Yeah, Jack has been doing some great things on the court, but sometimes too when he's playing, he looks like he's playing a little bit too fast. He's beating guys off the dribble all afternoon long. We like to see him take it all the way to the cup. And Jack actually plays for both teams, and he had to make a choice.
Wow. I wonder what went into him choosing the River Dogs, honestly. That's wild.
right on cue, he makes a shot. Jack Steinbach takes it to the hole.
She brought her water, and I need some too. I'm getting that dry now,
9-point game. And here comes, right on cue again, Jack Steinbach with another shot. 2 shots in a row by Jack Steinbach.
Jack is playing a really, really aggressive game right now. It's as if he heard us talking about him.
And remember, they're doing this without William Chapman, who's been sitting on the bench.
Absolutely. Jack again has come away with the steal. Heat check 3 by Jack. It's off, but he gets his own rebound, goes back up, and hits the layup. Right now the score is 41-36. The Marquette Mustangs lead the St. Louis River Dogs.
And you know what? This gives Chapman more time to breathe. Good timeout. Good. I'm telling you, if I'm a coach, I got a shorter bench, and then I'm up by 12. Then all of a sudden I'm up by 10. Now all of a sudden now I'm up by 5. I need to be called in timeout.
Absolutely, and the River Dogs played that correctly. You force the other team to take a timeout. You know you have a short bench. Now your guys get an extra breather with some momentum going into the timeout.
'Tis the Season is presented by Team Moke. It's a Rare Jam production live on location from MICDS 8th grade boys final in the Zone Network with Palm Alexander, which is myself, and Ashley Wright. Let our team cover your team from anywhere you are. Info at RareJamProduction.com. Your Arlington may not have a job. I'm just kidding.
Arlington, we can't wait to have you back. We miss you.
Yeah,
dearly.
you know what, but you know what? The best part about it, though, in a fun way, my eardrums get a break because
Yeah, he gets excited.
Yeah. It's let's see, it is 9:09 left right now, and before the players enter the court, I also want to remind you guys that Team Moke conducts winter basketball training groups Sundays from 6th and 7th grade boys. They're held right here at MICDS. Mike Scott, great guy. Met him beforehand. Very nice guy.
Absolutely, and he's an MICDS alum.
Yes.
So it's amazing that he's come back to his old stomping grounds doing something for the kids.
And these kids will remember this the rest of their lives, and then they'll be able to help the next generation after them, and that's what it's about too. Coming back and giving back, and understanding what your purpose is too in life. Not all of us will be the next LeBron or Kobe Bryant.
Absolutely, but sometimes when you get away from the game, there are other ways to be in the game. So there was a shot taken by Patrick Bloomquist of the St. Louis River Dogs that rattled out.
And now we're looking at a 5-point game with 8 minutes left, and the River Dogs have life. And Anthony Ronaldo hits a 3. Now they're showing a little token pressure in the backcourt.
I think maybe fatigue may be a factor in the way the River Dogs are playing defense. Anthony Rolando took the shot with barely any pressure.
As we are thumbing through, let's see. Score is 46.
Mustangs are rotating in first and second team. The second team's in. River Dogs catch up. The first team's in.
40, and they're up right now 46-36 with 6:56 remaining in the second half of the game as the Mustangs get ready to take it out. Gavin Lane passes it to Carter, and they call him with traveling.
So the Mustangs are actually doing a rotation where they have their first and second teams in. Whenever the River Dogs get within a certain amount of their lead, they put in their first rotation. Whenever they have a nice amount of, whenever they're leading by a nice amount of points, they put in their second unit.
Well, it's good to do that, too, because you get the second unit, that much-needed rest. Look at the pressure in the backcourt.
Amazing ball movement by the River Dogs. And there's a rebound by Jack Halabowski and a great pass ahead to Jack Albrand for the easy layup. This is amazing team basketball by the Mustangs.
What a zip pass that was. And you notice they are starting to pressure them now. They're starting to trap them more. Wild shot by, who's that? That was Jack Holubowski with the wild shot. And coming back the other way is the River Dogs.
Will Chapman takes the three for the River Dogs. It's an air ball. And the ball is being brought back up by Anthony Rolando of the Mustangs, who drives for the layup and the and one. The Mustangs now lead the River Dogs 50-36 as Anthony Rolando heads to the free throw line.
It looks like the Mustang has decided that it's time to put this game away.
Absolutely.
You know, they let them get close. They let them get close, and now they are turning up the pressure. They're trapping more. Look at them right now. They're trapping right now. They're showing some 2-2-1 action in the backcourt.
And after the made free throw by Anthony Rolando, the Mustangs now lead 51-36.
And that's what you do when you're against a team that's shorthanded. You have to press them and harass them, and you have to keep doing that because you're going to wear them down. You're going to force them into more turnovers. You're going to get more easy baskets, and that's what you have to do. I just think that coach decided to take the chains off and turn those guys loose, and look what's happening.
Absolutely. When you have a lead, you have to continue to do the things that got you the lead in the first place. You can't become lackadaisical and play the scoreboard, or you allow your opponent to get within your lead.
Big sweeping left-handed hook by Bowen Brantingham. How about that? And he's going to John Burroughs. Nice sweeping left-handed hook. And a beautiful free throw made by Bowen Brantingham. But noticing they're not trapping on dead balls.
Absolutely, they're not. And I think also that has to do with their depth. You can't do what the other team is doing just because they have more players than you have. So you have to play your game. You can't get rattled. You can't think that, since they're doing it, I have to do it. You have to play what's best for your team.
And, sometimes, too, when you have a short bench, one of the things that I did once as a coach, and I remember coaching a team, had 7 players, just played zone. Didn't even take no chances, gambling for steals. If the steal came, you took it, but you just didn't take no chances because you didn't have, that big of a bench.
Big, strong move by Ryan Hardwick of the St. Louis River Dogs. And again, Ryan got the rebound, stayed with the shot, went back up, and made the second attempt.
I love how Ryan didn't give up on the play. You had guys with their hands up, and there is a layup made and an N1 opportunity by Jack Steinbach. And you're seeing a little bit more offense by the River Dogs, over the last 2 or 3 offensive sequences. But again, in that last possession down there, just the fight by Ryan Hardwick, refusing to give up. I mean, you got two guys towering over you, and both their hands over you, and he's still not giving up and making shots like that. And those are character possessions that you can be able to build on too as well.
Absolutely, and I think that's a testament to Ryan not giving up. I think that's a testament to his character and his teammates. He cares a lot about his team. He's giving his teammates the best opportunity they can to win.
2 minutes remaining, 10-point game, and River Dogs showing some pressure now.
Looks like the River Dogs wanted to trap.
Hardwick had a chance to get a steal, and the ball went off his hands.
Absolutely.
Now the clock is your enemy, and what they have to do is get fouls, stop the clock, and make them make shots at the line now.
I really, really love Will Chapman's game. I don't know if it's just because he's
scrappy.
He's very
scrappy and tough.
He's everywhere. He's not giving up. His head isn't down. He's communicating with his teammates during inbound plays. He's a really, really great player. And Will Chapman is actually heading to John Burroughs.
They give them a very good player.
Absolutely.
Very good player. There are a lot of good players on the floor today that we look forward to definitely calling some more of the games. And before we even continue on, again, a great job by the officials this afternoon. William James and Eddie DeSarge Tober, they are members of the St. Louis Officials Association. There is a corner three. It is off the mark. Here is Will Chapman. Three is blocked.
Huge block by Gavin Lang of the Marquette Mustangs. And the ball was out of bounds. Looks like it tipped a Marquette player, and there was a timeout taken by the St. Louis River Dogs with 1:32 remaining in the second half. Right now, the Marquette Mustangs lead the St. Louis River Dogs 53-43.
You know what I noticed, too, when Jack Steinbeck had the ball, and I thought about what we talked about earlier in the game and talked about that he had to make a decision on which team that he want to play for. And so when he had the ball, he was coming down, and he did, when he was dribbling, he said, tat, tat, tat. And you could tell that they're used to playing against him because it's like they knew it was coming.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Look at the two different sidelines, right? Mm-hmm. You know, you could see the team. You can see one team is up by 10, and coach is cooking up something to do. Now they're starting to trap. I think that you have to start trapping, taking some chances now. They can stop the clock on the foul. They just have to make sure that they're making their free throws on the other end.
Yes. Despite your depth differences, you have to begin to gamble in order to win the game. And I think electing to trap is a great decision by the River Dogs head coach.
And it looks like William Chapman will be inbounding the ball. Passes it out. Chapman shoots a three. It is off the mark. Gavin Lane has the ball. River Dogs foul. 1:20 left.
And you see when Gavin Lane got the ball, he took a second to assess. He didn't panic that River Dogs players were heading toward him. And I think that right now, being in 8th grade and knowing to not panic when you're being trapped will go a very long way.
Yeah, it does. And you know, a lot of times, too, when you're playing in the game and you have these sequence of events that happen and you get a chance to get a steal, sometimes the natural reaction is to take the ball and go the other way and try to create something. But he recognized also how much time was left on the clock, that they had a sizable lead, and there was no need to run the score.
Absolutely.
Ryan Hardwick with a shot off the back of the rim, and ball comes over to the table.
Thank you for saving me. You saved all of the equipment brought here by Rare Gym Productions. I think they'll appreciate it.
Jade is really going to give me a hug
Absolutely.
for saving the equipment. 1:02 left in the contest. The Mustangs are up by 9. Quick foul. Only 1 second coming off the clock. And this is a good strategy. This is something that at the high school level, this is something that as a coach I would do, especially knowing, what the time is. You stop the clock, you get a foul. I mean, you make them make free throws at the line. One of the most fundamental things about the game is free throws, and make them.
And right now, Drew Ellis is at the line for the Marquette Mustangs. He just drained the first shot in a one.
Did you think much about LeBron free throw shooting?
Absolutely. I think LeBron James is supposed to be a leader for the Los Angeles Lakers, and to not be able to drain shots in a close game, I think it says a lot. But LeBron James is one of the best players of our generation, so you can't take away from his legacy just because he can't make 2 free throws at the end of the game.
just got another side note about Jack Halabowski. He actually plays for both teams as well, And with his contributions today, he's one of the reasons why the Mustangs are in the final.
Absolutely, and I'm wondering if Jack Halabowski and Jack Steinbach got together to decide, well, if you choose this team, I'm going to choose the other. I wonder if there's a friendly rivalry going on between the two.
You know, two Jacks aren't bad now. You know,
Jack and Jack.
Yeah, two Jacks not bad. You know, especially if you're playing poker. You know?
Yeah.
It is at the line right now, Anthony Rolando. And he's had him a pretty good game himself.
Absolutely. It's been a complete team game for both teams. I think both teams should leave this game with their heads held high. I've seen some amazing elements from both teams during today's game.
Timeout by the River Dogs as they are currently down by 12. Yeah, but, going back to what we was talking about with LeBron, and I just thought that, he's shooting with 70, I think around 78% or something like that from the line. And it's just something that he just never was really noted for, with his free throw shooting. He hasn't had to really make a lot of clutch free throws.
Absolutely.
He's made more game-winning shots than free throws anyway. So.
And given that, this is year 15 for him, and he's surrounded by a lot of young guys, and Lonzo Ball, Kyle Kuzma, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, I think that LeBron is really taking his foot off the gas and just giving his knowledge to the younger guys on his team, and he's not necessarily having to take control as he did in previous years.
Any similarities on the court today? You see any? I mean, I had a Scotty Brooks reference, which I hope nobody feel that as a slight because he could play. I mean, the guy could play. He was tough. He was tough as can be.
I think, honestly, Will Chapman is putting me in the mindset of an Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas. Yeah, absolutely. Of the Boston Celtics, now plays for the Denver Nuggets, Isaiah Thomas, not Detroit Pistons, Isaiah Thomas. But he's small, yet he can play a game. He plays. It's not. He's not letting the height difference affect his game. He's scrappy. He's coming off of screens, taking confident shots. He's not looking down because the other players are significantly taller than he is.
Yeah, and he has a great touch. He has a real good high basketball IQ. And John Burroughs got themselves a solid player, and I wouldn't be surprised if he breaks a lot of records there, especially shooting from downtown.
And every team needs a shooter, Shooters are just as important.
Well, that's the way the game has changed now. You see a lot of teams especially shoot threes in transition, but that's a microcosm the way that the game is played now. A lot of teams don't pass it 5 times and shoot it.
Absolutely, and you're seeing big guys now, post players, Karl Anthony Towns, for instance, Joel Embiid, developing their games to where they can come outside the three-point line and take a confident three.
Speaking of a confident three, William Chapman shoots another one. It is off the back of the rim. 13 seconds left, and it looks like the Mustangs will win this game.
So with 5 seconds left, 3, 2, 1. The Marquette Mustangs have defeated the St. Louis River Dogs 58-45 here at MICDS.
Well, Ashley, immediate thoughts after this contest?
As I said before, I think both teams should leave today's games with their heads held high. Although the River Dogs lost by 13 points, they shouldn't feel that way, I feel like they played with heart. They never held their heads down despite the point differential, and the Marquette Mustangs played a complete game. They played total defense. They played amazing offense and took some confident shots. They were open and moved the ball effectively. I
remember at one point, they got down by as many as 12, and then they end up cutting the lead down to 6. And Jack Steinbach got some offense going while Chapman was sitting on the bench. And you thought that once Chapman came back that, maybe they might be able to overtake them. They just wasn't able to do that. The Mustangs were just deep. And, they played fundamentally sound today.
Yes, they did, definitely.
All right, this is a Rare Jam production in association with the End Zone Network. I'm Palmer Alexander. This is Ashley Wright from Sports with Ashley. We are live right now at MICDS. Team Moke conducts their winter basketball training on Sundays for 6th and 7th grade boys, held right here at MICDS. And also want to make sure that I share my handle. You can follow me at The Legend, KIL, on Twitter and Instagram. And Ashley, where they can find you at?
On Instagram, you can find me at Sports with Ashley, and on Twitter, you can find me at Sports with Ash.
All right, well, thank you so much. And also, I want to make sure that I shout out all of the parents that showed up today, all of the volunteers, everybody that's tuning in. Also want to give out, say what's up to Jade. High five today. Brian Lewis. Brandon Lewis. You know, hey, I just read how it's written. Of MICDS. And also want to remind everybody that let our team cover you from anywhere you are. Get your information at RareJamProduction.com.